Franchises hit the theaters this week. Michael Cook is here to talk about Daniel Craig's last run as playing James Bond. And from The Sopranos, there's the many Saints of Newark.
Let's start off with the new James Bond movie starring Daniel Craig. This is his last time portraying the iconic James Bond character. At the beginning of the film, we see James Bond as he's retired, basically from MI6. He's has romance in his life with a young woman who was in the previous film Spectre, but something pulls him back into into the world of Secret Assassins, which is the 007 series. Like a lot of James Bond movies, the actual plot, it's a huge plot with a lot of moving parts, but of course at the center of it there's a villain who is trying to basically destroy the world. There he's played by Rami Malek. James Bond, has to deal with certain betrayals, and of course people he doesn't know are trying to kill him for unknown reasons, because of course he is James Bond. Ralph Fiennes is back as M. There you saw Christoph Waltz as the villain from the previous movie. He returns with a major plot in this film as well. A lot of action scenes that are fantastic in this movie. There's some new characters introduced and some old ones that you really enjoyed. The plot at times got a little convoluted as it pertains to like the motivations of the Rami Malek villain. Unfortunately, like anytime you have a James Bond movie or movies like this, you want a good villain, somebody who really drives the story along, and that's one of the failings of this movie, is that the villain is not that particularly interesting. He's very wooden. He's hard to just understand in terms of both his motivations and how he even talks sometimes. But movie is made up for it by just the storyline that Daniel Craig goes through in this movie. It does have a little bit of soul to it. It does have romance, as I mentioned earlier, and it's very poignant at times. This is the last time you'll see Daniel Craig as 007, and this movie delivers when it comes to all the gadgets and the action and the thrills of a 007 movie. I really enjoyed this movie. I wish it had been a little bit better on the villains and a little bit more explanation of some of the characters, because you got a little bit confused right around the beginning of the third act. You're like, now why exactly is this person doing that? But all in all, I did enjoy this movie. I think personally Daniel Craig is the best of all the James Bond. It's my own personal. Some people think it's Sean Connery, but I think it's Daniel Craig. So all in all, that's why I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, that's a good one. No one says Pierce Brosnan?
I like Pierce Brosnan, but Daniel Craig to me was the best of the bunch.
Who will be the next Bond?
That's the big thing. They're going to be debating. They're going to make up their minds sometime next year. It could be a variety of people. So.
I'll throw your name in the hat.
Please do. I'm a dead ringer.
Let's go on to the Sopranos movie.
This is called The Many Saints of Newark. It's on HBO Max or playing at theaters. This is a prequel to the HBO series called The Sopranos. It's set in late 1960s, early 1970s. There you see a young man, that's Michael Gandolfini, who is the real-life son of the late James Gandolfini, who played the lead character Tony Soprano.
He actually does look
like it. He has some of the mannerisms of Tony Soprano, and it feels natural, not like he's trying to give an impression. But the story more focuses on an uncle of Tony Soprano called Dickie Moltisanti, who in the series he's never seen because he dies. We know he dies in the 1970s, but he looms large over Tony's life. And Alessandro Novello plays, there you see him, who plays Dickie Moltisanti as a gangster in the late 60s and 70s in Newark, dealing with some of the actions that he takes that hurts others, that inadvertently puts Tony Soprano on his lifelong path. There's a subplot with Leslie Odom Jr., which had been fleshed out a little bit more as an African-American gangster who starts butting heads with the Italian families. The things I liked about this movie, if you've not seen The Sopranos, you probably would not enjoy it as thoroughly because there's so many callbacks, there's so many characters that are mentioned that if you don't know who's who, you would get lost. But if you saw The Sopranos, you probably enjoyed it more. The problem with this movie, it's 2 hours, but it needed more time to let the characters
So it's not
breathe.
long enough.
Believe it or not long enough because you wanted a little bit more from some of these characters instead of just sort of trying to cram it all in. And so it wasn't quite as satisfying as it should have been with some things that are just sort of thinly drawn and just too many callbacks, I think, to try to satisfy fans of the series. So I didn't quite enjoy this movie as much as I enjoyed the TV series. So all in all, I give this film a 7 out of 10.
Be careful with your ratings, though.
I know. They play the Arkansas Mafia as opposed to the New Jersey Mafia. It's a different thing.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Michael. Let's go check in with the Rants right now.
Give a shout out.